nice man up here. He talks to the NBA now, and that's B.J. Bask, a regular here on the Artie Clear Show. B.J., welcome to the Artie Clear Show, pal. How you doing?
Yes, Artie.
My
Glad
man.
to be back.
How about that pass from Jamal Crawford last night to Griffin on a breakaway? Are they really exciting those fans out in Clipperland or what?
Yeah, you just better execute, man. You got to make sure that thing goes in the basket, But yeah, they're fun to watch, man. We've been talking about them for a few weeks. I mean, I think I told you a couple weeks back, man. They remind me of the Nets with Jason Kidd and Kmart and Richard Jefferson and those guys when they were just blowing people out. They're really, really fun to watch.
They certainly are, and they're having a good time of it. That's why it's all meshing and working together, because they're enjoying what's going on. And I think guys on that team like Lamar Odom, who comes off the bench, or a Ronnie Terrioff, or a Jamal Crawford coming off the bench, or a Bledsoe coming off the bench, I think they know their roles now, and they're happy in their roles, and that's why the continuity in Clipperland is going so well. But everybody knows, if you know anything about the NBA or you know anything about the Los Angeles Clippers, that team's only going to go as far as Chris Paul can carry them.
Yeah, I agree. I also think it's on Blake. I mean, he's got to take the next step as far as, if they want to get in the championship, it's really going to be on him. I mean, you know Chris Paul, you know what he's going to give you. That's a given. But is Blake going to step up late in the fourth quarter? Is he going to get on the free throw line and execute when he needs to? Is he going to make a key jump shot down the stretch somewhere where he needs to? And frankly, I don't know. I mean, we're all waiting to see that. But
I don't think he's ready for that yet.
Yeah, he may not be there yet. But I'll tell you this: if he does, and he steps up to that level, and then you got Chris and Blake playing the way they're capable of, then you got something.
I think where they hurt the most, and he's going to be a good player, but he's still a little raw, but he's a talent for sure, is DeAndre Jordan. And I know that he's going to get better. I know he has tremendous upswing and upscale. His body's a good body. He can jump. He can rebound. He can block shots. He can go the alley-oop. He can dunk it. He's trying to develop a jump shot and be the player that he wants to be. But I think that's where it lies. When he gets to the next plateau, will help the Clippers in a big way. When Crawford's coming off that bench and scoring 20-plus off that bench, that really helps them. Odom's not scoring a lot of points, but he's actually settled the second team down where he does his rebounding, he does his passing, he'll hit a key shot here or there. Bledsoe's been playing great for them, and he's been playing wonderful, Eric Bledsoe, coming off the bench. And I'll tell you, if they're ever going to trade anybody and get some value, he's a very valuable commodity, and there's a lot of teams that would love to have Eric Bledsoe as their starting point guard, not coming off the bench. He's worth a lottery pick, and if they'd ever traded him for a lottery pick, I'm sure they can get it. I don't know where they would get for him in the lottery, because I look at college basketball, no one's really thrilling me but the kid out in Indiana or Seth Curry out of Duke, but there's no one, boom, in front of my eye. Maybe the point guard from Michigan, but no one's out there that's just blowing my doors off my car and saying, man, this guy is great. He's going to be a great pro. They say they got about 12 teams that can win the championship this year, and the NBA doesn't have no clear-cut number one player pick that's going to just be the rookie of the year or take the NBA by storm. They don't have it this year in college.
No, there's no question. I mean, I like the kid from Indiana also. I think his game translates to the NBA, and the point guard from Michigan. And it's nice, the Big Ten. I mean, I remember back in the day with, the Michigan and Indiana teams. I mean, I'm talking like early 90s, I mean, they were great teams, and it's been down, frankly, it's been down, but it's great to see some of those guys back. And Ohio State's got a couple kids, and I like to watch that kid on Ohio State, the
Kraft.
The kid Kraft. I like to watch him guard the ball. I mean, because you just don't see kids, and same with the Indiana kid. He guards. We've talked about it. I like kids that can guard because you just don't see that that much. And give me a kid who you can put him on somebody and say, hey, go shut that guy down. But you're right. I mean, there's no clear number one pick. And when I look at the tournament, I mean, I'm starting to, follow some of the conference tourneys. And when you look at the NCAA tournament, I mean, who's going to win this thing? I mean, whoever these number one seeds are, I could see any one of them losing early. I really could.
So can I. Now, I'll tell you one team that's pretty intriguing who got really hot, and that's the Kansas Jayhawks. And they're getting hot at the right time, too, and they got a great coach out there in Bill Self. I think his name is McLemore, who's just starting to score like crazy. He had 40 points the other night. This guy has a pro body, and he's lean, and he's fast, and he can jump, and he can shoot it. He might be the overall number one pick if he comes out of college, that kid. But Kansas, of all the teams right now, Indiana, Michigan State, Gonzaga. Now, Gonzaga's rated number one in the nation. They'll probably be a number one seed because they come from a very weak conference. They're not going to play Indiana, Ohio State, Michigan, or Wisconsin. They're not to go against UCLA or California, not Stanford this year, but just different teams. And they're going to have almost a cakewalk because their conference is so weak. They'll get a number one seed. Now, I forget the guy's name, but he got a really good – he has real long hair, this kid, and he can play. And he looks like a star in the making from Gonzaga. But I'll tell you the truth. I'm not really going to follow Gonzaga as, oh, my God, I can't wait for Gonzaga to play. I mean, I don't even know one player on their team.
You know what you need to do is I think that when you get into a situation like this, you got to look at the coaches. Because when all things being equal, a lot of times, especially in college basketball, I mean, there could be teams that really get out-coached. And, you look at Indiana, and he does a great job. And then you look at Michigan. I mean, that coach, I loved him even going back when he was in the tournament with West Virginia with the Pitts-Noggle team and those guys. And, just bringing bigs out on the perimeter and stretching the defense and just really creating matchup problems. So I've always loved Beeline. There's a handful of coaches that if you look closely, I think that could make a difference. I'll tell you another guy. You gotta give him credit is the Miami coach Larinaga.
Yeah, they just lost the other night to Georgia Tech, though.
Yeah, I know they lost, but everybody, this is the time of year where everybody loses a game or two before the tournament. But look at their body of work, and they've always had talent down there. And then they put this coach down there, and look at what he does in a couple of years. And he did it with George Mason. So that tells me that the guy is, somebody to watch out for. But I think it's going to be exciting because again, you don't know who is going to get knocked out early as far as the top seeds. And, I'll tell you, I give you one more. I mean, they've been up there all year, but I in the back of my mind, I have a feeling Syracuse could make a little run.
Oh, no.
Now, having said, well, listen, they could get knocked out in the first round also. But I tell you what, they have three guards, and in the kid Carter Williams and Trish. And Sutherland's not really a guard. He's more of a forward. But they have three kids on the perimeter that can really play. And I think that, the two things is the coaching and guard play. And if you can get that, I think you got a shot.
Now, you got that guy, Otto Porter, out of Georgetown, and John Thompson III is their coach down there. You got Bill Self down in Kansas, a great coach. You got Pitino. You got Calipari. I know Kentucky will get in there. They won't make no noise, though. You got Cream from Cream, is that his name? Tom Cream from Indiana, and you also Roy Williams from North Carolina. They're going to get into the big dance. Krzyzewski out of Duke, the Miami team. As soon as they start getting recognition and as one of the top teams, and all of a sudden they start losing. So maybe they should have stayed underneath the radar and not give them so much publicity. Leonard Hamilton out of Florida State's a heck of a coach also. The St. Louis Billigans, I know they lost to Xavier last night, but that's a team that you got to look out for. The Villanova Wildcats, who have started to play better basketball late, and Jay Wright's down there. They do a nice job. It should be a lot of fun this year in the NCAA tournament. Let's switch from the college basketball. We have a few minutes left here. BJ Bass, one of the NBA, just knows all about the NBA. Every player. He actually knows where to eat and they sleep also. Let's go to the NBA for a second. And look at the Miami Heat with that 17-game winning streak. They pulled a game out last night with LeBron James scored with 3 seconds to go with a layup with his left hand. And here they are, 17 in a row. They're halfway home to tie the Lakers at 33 games in a row. They won in 72. But how good is this Miami Heat, and are they going to win it all?
Yeah, no question. And I'll give you two things.
Don't give me one. Don't give me two. I can't dice two. No, I'm one playing it.
I'll give you two easy ones. One is LeBron finishing at the rim. In years past, number one,
jump shots.
He passes up that shot
yes.
if he takes it. And if he takes it, he takes a jump shot because he doesn't want to go to the foul line late in games and then miss 2 free throws and lose the game. So
right.
that shows me something there. And number two, just the ability to put it on the floor and finish with his left. You know, I mean, that was, I don't care, that could be in the middle of the second quarter. That's an incredible move that he made, you know? So it just shows me that mentally he's in a place, because we've always known physically that he's the most gifted, and in terms of everything that he does on the court, if you watch the Knicks game on Sunday, then you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he does everything, but mentally he's in a place where, listen, I got my title. I'm going to defend. I'm going to defend my title and validate. And aside from Oklahoma City, I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, I just don't see anybody there.
Okay. Well, I would mirror those words that you say, or echo those words as they say on the Honeymooners. But I agree with the LeBron James. And I'll tell you what really helps this basketball team is Mario Chalmers, who's really a good point guard and don't get any publicity at all. But bringing Ray Allen off that bench, boy, that takes a lot of pressure. Him and Battier coming off that bench brings so much pressure off of the big three out there, because Ray Allen on any given night can get you 20, 25 points. And Battier, he plays great defense and knocks those 3 balls down from the corner pocket like layups. And both those guys being on that team, especially Ray Allen coming to that team from last year, who's a pedigree, he won a championship in Boston. He knows how to handle the big moment. He also can settle guys down. But winning a championship last year really got the monkey off LeBron James' back. Now he has the confidence like no other player he's had before. He feels like he belongs there. He's playing great basketball. He's averaging like 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists a game. He's just going on a tear through this winning streak that they have. And they're finding ways to win. Instead of finding ways to lose, they are finding ways to win. And LeBron James has raised the level of his game another octave that I never thought he was going to get to. I always call him LeBrick James, but he has proved me wrong, and a lot of other people, they were proved wrong. And, you know, in LeBron and the writers and the TV guys, and as soon as he does something wrong, they pounce all over. Same thing with Kobe or a high-profile athlete. And they were really putting so much pressure on this guy, especially when he was in Cleveland. Then he gets to the finals and against, I think it was the Mavericks beat him, but he gets to the finals, and they lose again. And here they go, they bash LeBron. Well, he finally shuts everybody up, and they're not bashing him anymore. They're saying instead, how many rings is he going to get? Can he get up to Kobe? Can he get to Jordan? Is he going to score the most points ever in the NBA? He's on pace to beat Jabbar's record easily. He's still young, and he's over 20,000 points already.
There's one spot that they are vulnerable, and it's funny. I think LeBron could actually, if he needed to,
play center.
He could probably guard it. Well, they don't have a big. So if they went up against a big that could actually score in a post, and you don't really see that guy out there right now. You know, it's not going to be Ibaka, and we just got done talking about Blake and DeAndre, and they're not really a threat in the post right now. So, you know, San Antonio, Duncan, okay.
He's no threat, though. He's no threat.
Not anymore. But I honestly could see LeBron stepping up, and you know what? If he needs to guard a 4 or a 5, he could do it. I mean, I've never seen a kid that is so versatile and that is so unselfish and so talented. I mean, really, it's something between, people want to say he's not Jordan. Okay, he's not. Mentally, he hasn't been. Defensively, maybe he's not there. But he's something between Jordan and Karl Malone. I mean, that's what he is. And it's just fun to watch. Okay.
And I agree with that. And there's different eras for different players, and I think that he's carving his own era out, the LeBron James era, just like Michael Jordan did it in his era, Kobe Bryant did it in his era, Shaquille O'Neal, he piggybacked with Kobe. back in the old days, Dr. J, and then Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. So they all have their niche, and they're all cutting it out, and they're all making history as individual players. LeBron James is the NBA right now. Kobe Bryant, same thing out in L.A. He's still playing some great ball. He had 42 points last night, and he's still playing great for them. Kevin Durant's doing the same thing. But these guys are bunched together now. So if you look at Kobe Bryant, he's been from now to the end of his career. A lot of great players have come and gone, and he's still there. And I've talked to Dominique Wilkins. I've talked to Julius Erving, and they all marvel over Kobe Bryant's game. They marvel over LeBron James' game, but they say that Kobe Bryant is just a little bit better coming down the stretch. He's a clutch ball player. Not LeBron's not clutch, but Kobe just has a little bit over him in the clutch situations. Kobe Bryant is still the man in the NBA. Then it would be LeBron James and Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and Dwayne Wade, and they all play like 4 to 5 guys. They play for the same teams, 2 for Oklahoma, 2 for Miami, and that's just the way it is in the NBA right now. I think it might change when Derrick Rose comes back because he really was carving in a niche for himself also, but he had gotten hurt. And I wish he wouldn't have gotten hurt because I'd like to see a Chicago Bull team at full strength, healthy, playing that full strength, healthy Miami Heat team. Not that the Heat would have won or lost, but I think the NBA and the fans got cheated out of that. And I hope that comes down one day where they both are healthy and let them go after one another in an NBA that goes for the championship. Let them go in the conference finals against one another. I think it would be great to watch.
Well, we talked about, I know you got to run. We talked about coaches. That coach of the Bulls probably doesn't get enough credit because, I mean, look, and when he was at Boston, and that's when they were blowing people out by 30, but they were doing it with defense. And as soon as he left, Boston still had some success, but it wasn't the same. And then he goes to Chicago, and they start blowing people out by 30, and they're holding people to 65, 70, 75 points. And, and you got to give the coach credit there. So I agree, it would be good to see Chicago and Indiana, they're okay. But it's Miami's the class of not only the East, but the whole thing right now.
I agree with you. I'll let you go with this thought, BJ. If Joakim Noah was on the Miami Heat, they might be able to break the Chicago Bulls record of 70 wins. That's how good he'd make those Heat goes. He don't need any set plays for him. He's a great center for defense. He rebounds. He block shots. He had 11 block shots the other night. Plus, he has a little bit of game now. You can see he knows how to dribble the ball better. And a guy like him, if he was on the Heat, what they got right now, that would be the key ingredient that the Heat are missing. If they're missing anything, him on that team, boy, they would be unstoppable, I think.
Riley will find somebody. Listen, I have all the faith in the world in Pat, and I've actually got to deal with Pat a little bit the last couple of years. He's a super guy, and I bet he finds somebody. He's not going to be able to pay him because he's paying the other guys, but he'll find some young, 6'10", 6'11", 7-foot kid, probably below the radar, and he'll develop him, and he'll plug that hole. I'm sure of that.
I'm sure you're right about that. Pat Riley does a nice job in Miami. BJ, thanks so much. Give out your handle real quick before the people. We leave the stations because then we're going to do some other things, but give out your handle if you don't mind.
Sure. On Twitter, I'm BJ, at BJ Bass 2. And Artie, thank you. It's always a pleasure.